Welcome everyone to round number 12 of the season, the penultimate round here in America for Tier 2. The championship battle is still on. And again, I know I'm going to be talked to about it. The screens again, yes, they're not able to be on because of Lightstream Studio. So obviously, that's a problem that we're having, and that's something that we'll have for the rest of the season since Lightstream kind of wanted to quit my mixer. That's what's going to go on. I'm joined by Polo God today. Polo God, how are you doing? So, yeah, it's really crazy how this track is. Let's talk about last season quickly. I talked to you about last season just a minute ago. Rapid Extreme took a podium here. Hellcat and Riles 1-2 in both races, just different order. Hellcat's only win ARL came here. So, something to bring up, Apollo, you might have to include your audio. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Small burn. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so Hellcat, Riles 1-2 again. Lush Chevy took a podium in this race, so did Rapid Extreme. And Thrasher was on for a podium, but obviously that did not happen after everything went wrong. And Patriot is to the top already, by the way. Fire Polo, okay, Davis.
Yeah, fire me for a third time.
Yeah. Oh, man. But no, speaking of you, I want to talk about the basically commentary extension up to next season. Next season, full time in Tier 2 for you. Figured that out already, so glad to see that. How about that? I'm sure we will have another season of Intense Action.
Yes, I love commentating this tier. It's been a great 12 fight between Patriot, Pluto and Kigoda.
Now I can fire you.
Yeah, they can fire me. But yeah, there's been many good battles, many great races, especially recently with Germany and Mexico. Hopefully next season, where I commentate again alongside you, it'll be the exact same.
So the stream is live in the Mixer chat, but I don't want to pull up in the Discord. Stream is live, never shows up here. Yeah. Alright, but anyways, was gonna say yesterday's race. We're just gonna speak about that quickly. Okay, yesterday's race, what the hell was that? Crazy race for sure for Tier 3. We had the mix back and forth between Thrasher and Davis, 1-2. The longest and biggest gap for pole position, 1.2 seconds. It was between Davis and Thrasher, the two Toro Rossos, 1-2. Front row lockout, the fourth team to do that, front row lockout. So that's pretty cool to see them do it. Either way, as well, you had Dominant Square starting 8th. Obviously, you had the two O'Callahans racing Polo. So, yeah, the start. A safety car in lap 2. Very clean start, though. Hissy spun around with the contact with Dominant Square, and John Busy, Aaron's brother, had spun off a contact with Burning Man at the last corner, or the penultimate corner. Sorry. So, tell me what you thought of that start of the race, and just in general from what we saw in USA.
It was insane. Obviously, I was race engineering my two O'Callahan brothers, whatever, and also Bianchi. Obviously, Aaron at one point was doing quite well until he spun off the safety car restart. But just the race itself, it was a very intense race. Davis taking the win, obviously. Dominant Square, I want to mention him again. I know he's a bit of a meme in this league, but he's not even being biased here. He pulled off an absolutely incredible result with P6.
He really did.
It was a P7.
Yeah, it was P7 after Sync appealed the timing glitch, which was correctly appealed, and that was fair enough to anyone who you know, has a timing glitch. That was actually fairly appealed because we could actually tell where the time was, unlike last week. Adam Fav's glitch with the safety car restart. That was harder to tell. Anyways, Davis with the win, dominating race, led every single lap, the first Tier 3 driver to do that. You also had as well Tommy Karate making an American 1-2, which is good because Toro Rosso and Racing Point had a 1-2, the two up in front in constructors. You have to feel for Thrasher though. 2 glitches through the pit lane, kept getting a black screen every time he went through the pit lane. It was every time, and big problem for him, of course, with all that, resulted in a not so good finish with 10th place, but rounding out that podium was Ollie Mason of McLaren. McLaren's first podium in a while. But congrats to Ollie Mason, first race back, and especially on that wheel that he has now. First race back, doing very well, and up there, so good for him. And 4th place, Sink. You have rounding out the top 5, Raptor from P19. Really great run for Raptor, and really great run for the Renault team as Red Bull also get P6 with CJ Pants, and P7 was Dominant Square. And Thrasher rounding out the top 10 though, P10. So Dominant Square though, you can say Italy off the chaos. Dominant Square was involved in some lap 1 stuff, but you can definitely say Italy was partially luck. You can definitely say that for sure. It's not like you could say that Italy was based off of skill. Yeah, he came back from lap 1, but Dominant Square really performed at the best level he can or could, and did all he really could for this one. And he got P7, qualified P8, ran P5 to P7 most of the race, P7, P8, and in fact, he ran P4 at one point in the race. So good job to him. Fair play to Dominant Square though, Polo.
Yeah. Obviously being Axe's brother, obviously Axe was probably proud of him after the race. He drove amazingly well, as probably Tripod goes quickest. And yeah, he pulled off an amazing result. Obviously, he's definitely changed from the Germany Tier 1 race where he wasn't really doing well and getting laughed by everyone. Gone are the days of that, and now he's scoring P6s in a... Although Tier 3 is the lowest tier, there's still a load of competitive drivers in that league, so well done to Square on a very, very good result in that race.
Not even that, think about the guys he was beating on track for the time being. Mafia, CJ Pants, Raptor. I mean, just think about the guys he was beating for a little while. Just take that into your mind and think, damn, that's what it was like? Luke B, Aaron Ocon, I have to mention it, of course. I mean, he was beating a lot of people, for sure. But that's the thing. Square has been impressive, and I mean, the Renault team and Axe and myself, I know, have kind of helped him improve a lot. So, good to him, honestly. He deserves that. Honestly, well deserved. All right, well, I think now it's definitely time to go to the championship battle. The thing we need to talk about the most is, yeah, I see now, Crumply Tripod at the top. Thing we need to talk about the most for sure is the championship battle, Polo, because Tier 2 actually still has a championship fight in the driver standings, but the constructors still ain't over yet either. So, Kagoda, 24-point lead over Pluto. Milo's 46 back, Adam Fav is 47 back. Adam Fav and Milo still have a chance, but not much of a chance. So, driver standings. If this goes off a countback in this championship, that means Pluto's tied with podiums with Kagoda. Pluto's tied with wins with Kagoda. Every podium, every win from this point on with Pluto and Kagoda matters the most. Milo Gaming and Fav, they're not as close on wins and everything else. They're much farther back, 46, 47 points. They need to outscore them by about 20 points today to stay in contention. So it's going to take a lot for them to possibly get this championship. But Drivers' Championship Battle, Polo, what do you think?
Obviously it's been a very, very intense title fight between these two. Adam Fav was in it at one point, but he's kind of fell off a lot in recent races. But Kagoda and Pluto, they put on a great show. They put on great battles, great comeback drives as well from Pluto last week that kept them in the title fight. Because if you think the championship would have been over if Pluto didn't come back to finish second and beat Kagoda. Now it all depends on today. Pluto has to beat Kagoda. If it's a 24-point gap, if Pluto finishes behind Kagoda in any way, maybe if 10th or 11th, I think Kagoda wins the title. If I don't know, I think it's Kagoda wins the title if he outscores it by like 3 points or 4 because of the pole point and passes that.
Well, 27 points is the most you can get in a race, but the comeback from Pluto last week was amazing. That's something we'll have to look forward to. Constructor standings now. Gonna talk this quickly before we get back to qualifying. So no matter what, Williams needs to outscore Mercedes by more than 20 points. Red Bull need to do it more than 30 points. Mercedes has this big lead, constructor standings. Biggest lead they can have. Not really much you can do about it. Because those guys are unstoppable this season. And 263 points by Mercedes, but Williams and Red Bull are still in contention. Williams and Red Bull are going to have to do a lot, as you see both the Red Bull cars with Riles and Adam Fav both come out at the same time.
Yeah, the constructors fight, I mean, doesn't really help that Riles hasn't been on the way in his dominant fashion he was last season. I don't even think he scored a podium this season. And Adam Fav in recent races, he hasn't been. I mean, he's pulled off some great comeback drives, but he hasn't come to podium. And that might hinder Red Bull. And for Williams, although Milo Gaming and Hamilton scored wins in the last 2 races, Hamilton has that quali ban after what happened in Mexico with Pluto in qualifying. So Milo, it's going to be down to what Milo can do in qualifying, and can Hamilton pull off what he did in Germany and take the shock result.
Still want to mention there's still a battle for that P5 spot, best of the rest, with Beatnik, Hamilton, Riles, and even Utah Elephants getting involved in that battle as well. Behind that, from 9th on back, a battle, PFL Solberg, Squid all tied, Asian right behind that, Silent 26 points, XPL as well, and then 20 points on back, 14th, Hellcat, Rapid Extreme with the race ban, and Matty Mumu all back there with that Crumpy Tripod as well, currently on pole position right now, 131.8, really fast lap time by him, I notice. Not really a fast lap time for tier 2, I'd expect better, but now you have Kagoda on the soft, so we should be able to see what he could do. Anyways, constructors fight as well. There's still a battle for the best of the rest as well. McLaren kind of probably going to take 4th at this point, but well, they could still get 2nd or 3rd, but they just can't get the championship. But that's where they could take. Anyways, Renault lead Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso. Renault with Crumpy Tripod and Utah Elephant, their great finishes last week. That's what that did. That made them stay in contention for that spot and you take a head, and there goes Kagoda to the top. That's what he needs if he wants to clinch the championship today.
Yeah, great lap, 131.6. I think he can go faster if he got another lap together, but I don't think he'll have enough time for another one. See, for anyone else, Pluto is just coming out of the pits. Now this might be a bit close unless he completely cuts the track. He's just, I don't know if he'll make it, but see any other guys who could match. Maybe Ad5, maybe.
I think with not Adam 5 Asian, you might need another invite. It's putting him on spectate, so I'm not too sure what's gonna happen with that. Anyways, there's a McLaren coming to the line. That's Matty Mumu, if I'm correct. Yes, it is. Outlap. Squid Jr. is also coming to the line right now as well. Is Alfa Romeo. He's got a podium earlier this season at Singapore. Where does he go? He goes up to 12th ahead of his teammate XPLO. And up there on the boards, I think someone just gone up to the top of the field. That was the Red Bull, Adam Fav and Riles, actually up to 8th and 9th. Not enough to beat Kagoda or them.
Yeah, some of these guys off the pace. Milo Game, I'm not sure if he's got a proper lap yet, but he's going to have to get a good lap in order to have a chance. So we're nearing the end of quality now. There's a Haas thing coming to the line. There's like Chungus going across the line. Doesn't improve. Crumpy Tripod.
Goes to the top.
Pole.
There you go. After the last week struggles, after not even getting his first race win. He's on pole right now. Patriot's not going to make it to the line because he's on an outlap right here. Checkered flag for Patriot. Goes to the top. Patriot's on pole. Kyle SO2 fourth. Where does the Renault Utah Elephant go? Sixth. The McLaren, Matty Mumu, only goes fifth. Milo Gaming, 2/10 up. Where does Milo Gaming and XR Ryan go? Milo Gaming 8th, XR Ryan to the line. It's going to be 10th. Behind that, Pluto, can he get better in his sectors? He's 2 seconds down from the top, 1.5 up right now.
1.5, that puts him on a 20.
Right now?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this guy, remember, at the start of the season, he was way too off the pace. He was tier 3 pace easily.
Davis 12.
And then look at him.
XPilo is second up. Can he get in the top 10 possibly? XPilo coming to the line. 6th. Good start for him. Behind that, Pluto. Does he go to the top? 4th. It's Patriot on pole for the first time in tier 2. My goodness.
Wow.
That's the first time for Patriot on pole. Wow. Tell me about that.
Tier 3 driver. This guy, if this is the most, he's gonna get most improved this season. Like, he has to get most improved. Like,
he was running 16th or lower most races as in Haas with Rapid Extreme as his teammate. He was not doing too well. Tier 3 took that pace, improved it a ton, and got himself moved up for the last 2 races. And there you go. Patriot, Crumpy, Choppa, Kagoda, Pluto, Kyle, SO2 rounding out the top 5. XP, a good start by him up at 7th.
Yeah, big names just outside the top 10. Adam Fav, GSR Riles, even Milo Gaming in 10th. So, and obviously Hamilton starting at the back. So for some of the front runners, not good enough. You need to show what they can do in the race.
Well, full dry race today. Polo, tell me about that though. Patriot, most improved. I mean, it goes to show how much you can kind of sweat this game out or do so good, and for just some people such as Patriot to improve like that. Could he win this race?
I don't know. It just all depends on how his race pace is around here. I mean, it's possible.
I know he practiced a lot with Silent and all the people over there. I know he practiced as well with Davis, who's in this race, going head to head together with Patriot and Davis. Those two going head to head. Well, Asian's car is on the grid, so that's good. Silent and the Racing Point, they're all in the same car, so that's good. They're both on the grid, which matters. Was gonna say though, medium tires for Asian, medium tires for Davis. How does everything go here on the start? It was last season a Racing Point on pole, and it was last season a Racing Point taking the win. That was Riles. Racing Point currently are tied with few teams having the most podiums. Can they extend that today? All right, 3 favorites from you, Polo, at the top.
Right, starting with Crumpy Tripod. He's told me practicing around here he's about 1.5 seconds slower after qualifying. I completely don't believe him because he's putting a really good lap, putting his car into second, and I think he could pull off. Maybe he was sandbagging. I never know. But really impressed by his pace. He could challenge Patriot for the win here. Second pick has to be Kagoda. Obviously, if he finishes ahead of Kagoda, I think he wins the title today. He just needs to outscore him by 4 points. And my final pick is gonna be Hamilton. I'm actually gonna pick Hamilton because remember in Germany he won from the back. Maybe he could do it again now. Yeah, it might be a tough ask, but USA is a track where you can overtake, so it could be possible. Yeah. So PNB, what are your 3 drivers you're gonna curse today?
Yeah, Axe did it in GSR and 20 to 20th to first. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, so my drivers I'm going to curse is Patriot. At the top of the field, you know, you cannot count this guy out. Tier 3, he was beating Davis by so much. Most improved driver for sure. His pace has improved in such little time throughout this season. F1 2019 at the end of the game. How can he improve toward 2020? GSR Pluto, 4th place as well. You know, how can he get this championship fight heading to Brazil? Can he keep in contention? He's starting right behind Kagoda. If he's not on podium today and Kagoda is, that means that Pluto is currently out of the championship. And behind that, I'm going to go with GSR Silent, back in P20. Not a podium last season in this race, but Silent had better pace than Riles. Remember how Riles was in the 25% races? Silent had better pace than Riles. Silent starts P20 after a quali ban. How does Silent form up today in this race? Racing Point, front row of the grid, first position and last position. How does this go? 5 red lights here in USA. It's the America Grand Prix. It's lights out. Away we go. Patriot gets off the line very well, but Crumply Tripod's there to challenge along with Kagoda. Pluto diving down the inside. 3 wide into turn 1. Pluto gets ahead of Kagoda. That's what he needs. Side by side with Crumply Tripod for second. Very clean start so far. Through the S's they go. Manny Mumu ahead of Kyle. There goes Areno. That's Utile Elephant around. Safety car, VSC.
And to VSC. And Silent has
gets a
5 seconds.
Yeah. So Elephant got a little
This is
tap there
carbon
from someone.
fiber.
Front wing missing.
Not.
Already great start from GSR Pluto. Up a position, let's see, as well, because XBLO's up 2 positions. Good job to him. Adam Fav, 3 positions, 4 positions for F1 Boy, who's making a reserve spot after Rapid Extreme's race ban, as well as positions down for Big Chungus, Kyle SO2, and Davis down a few positions as well. But it's still a long race. Let's keep in mind Davis was in contention for podium at Italy. But Patriot leading the Tier 2 race for the first time. This has never happened. How he's done this, I don't know. But we're back to the green flag. We're back to racing here in America. And this is Patriot's home Grand Prix as well. The last time we had an American winner in Tier 2 was back at Singapore with Beatnik. It could be the home race. It could be the home day for Patriot if he could just get everything right and get the strategy right and do what he needs to do and not have anything go wrong. But I know that will be cursed for sure.
Yeah, Patriot, he could have a really big shot here. Obviously, he has the 2 championship contenders plus Crumply Tripod coming up, battling. It's just, how will he cope with the pressure of arguably the 2 quickest drivers in Tier 2? And Crumply Tripod. Can't count him out either.
Oh, especially after last week. This guy is a proven guy who can contend with Kagoda and Pluto from what we've seen last week. He is so eager to do it. XR Ryan by Asian there. Contact between them. A little bit of more contact. Around goes Asian. Contact with Hellcat. And all back in the pack.
And there
goes Hellcat.
Hellcat.
Damage for him.
Hamilton on Silent. And, oh, there's a big contacting those 2. Now it's going to be 3 wide. I think Davis is trying to get involved. And that's Hamilton's past Silent. Now Hamilton's trying to get past Squid now. He's up in the 13.
Side by side, and almost a little bit of contact between the 2. Heading into the hairpin. A little bit more of a squeeze there. A little bit more again. Going off the track, Davis extending it just a little bit. Silent in this pack still.
Squid is still there. But Hamilton, I think he gets moved on here. Yes, he does. Into P13, but no, he's lost a lot of time to the likes of XRI, so he's going to have to gain that time back.
Losing that time as well was F1 Boy. His Patriot leads another lap here in America. The F1 Boy is pitting actually. He might have some damage. F1 Boy kind of made a mistake right there. And XR Ryan took advantage of it. But now with the 2 championship contenders, Pluto's out of Kagoda. If he stays in this position, this fight goes on to Brazil. That's what we want to see. And as well as the 2 Mercedes running in the points, this is going to get them the Constructors Championship that they want and that they need. Two people pitting. That was F1 Boy and Hellcat as well. I think Big Chungus Utah put on some hards. Pagoda gaining that gap to Pluto, but Crumbly Tripod not gaining too much to GSR Patriot. GSR Patriot, I know how much time Charlie did. I know what has happened. He sweated out for this race, and if he wins this race, what a story that would be. Just imagine what that would be. He definitely should
From
be
a
tier
driver
2
who
for next
couldn't
season,
score
for sure.
points to a race winner.
Think about it, his best tier 2 finish, yeah, it's 3rd, but if you consider this season as Manny Mumos runs in the back of Kyle, F1 boy gets a penalty. His best finish this season in tier 2, I want to say was 8th or 9th at Bahrain? Yeah, it was 8th at Bahrain. Back when his name was OPC Patriot, as Squid gets by Davis.
I said this when he moved to tier 3 and he ended up winning a race. I think it was Germany. He's much more comfortable in tier 2. He was much more comfortable in tier 3, and it was able to help him get quicker for the future races if he did come back to tier 2. And well, you know, it's paying off for him. He's now almost having a 2-second gap to Trump the Tripod.
Tripod just made a mistake there through turn 1, actually, at the entry of the corner, but he got the exit out of the corner that he needed to get ahead of Pluto and stay ahead of him. Eros, though, Patriot's managing it very well through his S's. He's taking the S's very carefully, not to take a penalty, because you know, through any curve you touch, you can take a penalty. Kagoda's right on the back of Pluto right there at the exit of Sector 1. So close between those two. Just inches between them.
You have to be careful through these corners, because any mistake with the dirty air or any stench of oversteering, your car's going sailing into the wall. And now Kagoda, get past GSR Pluto. This could be championship deciding.
Down the back straight, he's got the switch he needs. ERS is equal.
Yeah, but Pluto does have the straight line speed. He has. It's also helping with the massive tripod.
He goes wide!
Pluto's come. And now Kagoda, he's trying to fight him. No, he's backing the out a little bit. He's trying to get the run through that
trying right
corner.
here, no! Go to the outside. Pluto protects. Kagoda trying for the switchback. Right here, he's gonna hit the back of him.
Contact. Yeah. There's no way he could have gotten that move done there. But the battle continues. And now Pluto is now out of complete tripod DRS.
While that's happening, Crumpy Tripod is synced even with the gap of GSR Patriot as well. Pretty even between them.
Now here comes Kagoda. On Pluto, is he going to go down the inside into turn 1? No, he's not. He's going to back out. He's going to try and go on the back straight and try to hope Pluto makes a mistake through the S's. Trying to save the ERS.
Yeah, I was going to say ERS is equal between these guys, while Crumpy Tripod Patriot have about 10 to 15% better. Yeah, beat Nick over Slip again, if anyone doesn't know. That's why Kyle SO2 is in the Mercedes. But, yeah, so that's kind of why. XR Ryan picks up a penalty. Now, Kagoda's going to go down the inside almost. He's going to try it here, into the hairpin now. Does he dive down the inside? He's gonna. Diving down the inside. Pluto switching back.
But Kagoda's going to have DRS, so the straight line speed is going to be immaculate. Yeah, and Kagoda is ahead. This could be championship decided. Unless Pluto gets a move on, he's gonna go down the inside. No, he's not. He's gonna back out.
Boy picks up his second penalty. The race is behind that. XB1 close to Kyle, who's also closing into these guys in front of him as Hellcat takes a penalty. Davis goes by Squid there.
Probably Tripod's closed in.
There you go.
A little bit to Patriot.
Remember, if Kagoda's on podium today and Pluto is 4th, keep in mind all this stuff. Fastest lap could change things as well. So could the fact that Kagoda being on podium. You know, they have equal amount of wins, 27 points. You know what that means? Oh yeah, that means a lot. That means if Kagoda doesn't score in Brazil, but Pluto gets the win and fastest lap and pole point, if they finish in the order they're in now, that means it goes based off of wins, meaning Pluto would win the championship. So no matter what, if Kagoda gets the podium, the championship fight isn't really over. Adam Fab, side by side with Milo Gaming, out of turn 1, side by side at turn 2. The Red Bull and Williams battling for second in the constructors as well, side by side through the S's. Adam Fab trying to get ahead. He does get ahead, but goes wide. Milo still there to challenge again. Not enough.
Yeah, the gap's now 1 second between Dakota and Pluto, which is now means that both of them are now not in DRS to each other. Means everyone's the gap, the packs are going to spread out. And
Diving
won't be
down
any
the
battles.
inside. Milo, side by side with Adam Fab. Adam Fab still stays ahead.
He's going to protect the inside. Milo has the DRS. He has the he has DRS. Adam Fab has the last DRS on him.
Down the
Milo
inside.
weave a little bit. He's going to get the
Diving
move done.
down. Late braking, locking
Kind of
up.
overshoots it, but Adam Fab gets the switch back.
Rouse is there,
Stays
diving down
ahead.
the inside as well. The two Red Bull teammates also challenging the sandwich that Milo is in and diving down the inside again. He hits him.
Contact.
XR Ryan in the back of this battle with Hamilton and Silent following through as well. Hamilton starting back in P18, Silent back in P20.
Catching up to XR Ryan rapidly now, and looks like he's struggling on the soft XR Ryan. The lag is probably due to my inconsistent Wi-Fi. And Milo Morales contact.
It wasn't just you, it was me too. I saw that with XR Ryan. Yeah, just XR Ryan. Yeah. Well, Hamilton was gonna try and dive down the inside, but he couldn't because of the internet lag between them. While this is happening, Kyle SO2 is gaining on Pluto, and Kagoda's trying to gain on Grumpy Tripod to get the DRS down the back straight while we're on lap 7 of the race, and Riles actually picks up a penalty. Unusual for him.
He doesn't get a penalty, but now is Kagoda getting a DRS? No, it's not. It's still a second. And the gap's now 2.1.
Hamilton switching back!
Patriot.
XR Ryan is behind now. Hamilton ahead.
And now Silent's gonna try. No, he's not. I thought he was trying to then inside over.
Scottish drivers for 12th though. Think about this. DRS difference.
And this
Look
is,
at that.
and remember what happened in quali
Last week.
in Mexico.
Keep that in mind when these two are battling.
This is
Down
why
the
Silent's
inside!
trying to go down the inside. Is he gonna get the move done? No, Ryan will have the switch back. He'll have the inside line as well.
Whoa!
Oh, it's contact, loads of contact. Ryan kind of squeezes Silent, but now he's gonna go down the inside through this corner. And there's contact, more contact. Both of them are sideways.
Great battle between the two Scottish drivers, you know. Oh, Silent kind of cuts the corner a little bit there, kind of like Verstappen did in 2017 there. And now with all this, XR Ryan's followed a DRS there from the training cars. Now, Kagoda's got DRS and Crumpy Tripod into turn 1 as well. Crumpy Tripod losing a bit of time as well, and that is XR Ryan taking a pit stop already.
Yeah, he was really struggling on those softs, so it's not really a surprise here. Going on a medium, maybe he's trying to two-stop, or maybe he's trying to stretch these to the end. I don't think they can go to the end, so I think they'll probably be doing a two-stop today.
Probably Tripod just lost a lot of time there to Patriot just by sledding off of the curb right there at the beginning of sector 2. That's what you can do at this racetrack. I mean, you could probably confirm to me if he's on pad or wheel, but I mean, that's something you just don't want to do in general at this racetrack.
Yeah, he is a wheel player.
Yeah, so you don't want to slide on those curves the way he did because he almost lost it. And that caused Kagoda to gain on him, which Kagoda's not going to think about it, but Kyle is going to go by Pluto right there for P4.
Ooh, now that's going to help Kagoda a lot next. I think Kagoda wins the title at this right now.
Behind that,
And Matty
position
Moon is
Riles.
also...
Oh, Milo locking up. Hamilton hits Riles in the back just a little bit. Hamilton's still there around the outside. He might try this to switch back. Is it possible here to this area of racetrack? It usually is. Now Hamilton is not going to be able to challenge.
He gets right back. I think I saw earlier he got penalties, so both of them are equal on penalties. Davis also could fight these guys. Milo Gaming gets a penalty. Pluto pits. This could help him.
Look at the rest of the field. Milo locking up, almost hitting the barrier right there. Whoa!
He almost
Riles
told
as well. Kimbo's yesterday. It was.
2 bits. Yeah, Kimbo's. Yeah. I think Kimbo's is in the Williams as well.
He is. Yeah. Riles to hards. Okay, that's a bit of a strategy call wrong by Riles. Pluto and Milo go to mediums. Squid and Silent. Squid going to the mediums, and Silent going to the mediums. Riles is going to hards. That's a wrong strategy call by him. Don't know why you try that.
Yeah, maybe the mediums can go ski and it's just gonna involve a lot of tire saving. Which, you know, you need to practice, so you need to be some tire skiing races recently, and you know, you have to keep those tires clean or else you can risk a
Hold up.
puncture.
Kagoda trying down the inside of Crumpy Tripod. He's not far enough. Crumpy Tripod gives him the
But
line though to come up the exit of the corner.
He has the inside, but will Kagoda try around the outside? No, he will have the inside line though. Is he gonna try and go down the inside? Yes, he will. And he gets the move, but will Crumpy Tripod? No! Pagoda gets the move done, he's up into T2. What a move from Pagoda.
Already up a position from the start. He fell down a position originally from Pluto, but 2 positions already for him. And as well as 10 positions for Hamilton, even though pit stops is part of a factor from this. And they both pit.
They're top 3 pit.
Kyle stays out though.
Yeah, they can't double stack.
No way.
Mimi also stays out. You know what I'm saying? Staff comes in.
Kagoda goes to hards instead of mediums.
Oh!
This is huge.
That could change a lot because the hards, although they were quicker than the mediums at the end.
Here's Pluto coming out of the pits right now.
So much time.
The outside of Kagoda right here.
Ahead, I think. No, just behind. He's getting so much. The undercuts work the treat for him. He's just gonna attack Kagoda now.
Those hards are really
played
struggle
this
though.
absolutely perfectly.
Looking through the S's, look at the more traction Pluto has through here. He's going to be able to gain a ton on him at the end of Sector 1. And Pluto only a 10th down and is the best time there through Sector 1. Look at that. And look at that sidewaysness from him. He could have easily lost the car. Some Tripod did.
That shows how OP the undercut can be at this track. And yeah, that means now Pluto is backing this.
Davis and Hamilton
fight.
yet to pit though. P3 this is for. Davis going down the inside. Goes ahead of Hamilton. But Asian is there to challenge as well. Side by side. Patriot behind though. Remember, Page is technically in the race lead right now. Net P1. And this battle is not going to help him whatsoever. He tries to dive down the inside of Asian. They're about to go 3 wide.
And Hamilton down the inside of Davis.
Whoa!
Kind of in a contact with Asian and Asian's sideways.
He almost put
Low
on
on
Patriot
track
right there. And look at the gap Crumply Tripod has gained. About a second right there.
Yeah.
Kagoda follows,
really
so does Pluto.
I think Asian stays out, yeah, and
Oh!
Patriot. Oh, Crumbly Tripod picks up a penalty. That could be huge as well. Now a second between Patriot and Crumbly Tripod.
While all this is happening, Kagoda's caught up to Crumply Tripod even more than what he had before, and Pluto has caught up to him as well. So, the undercut really worked.
Pluto has 2 warnings and Kagoda has absolutely nothing.
Oh, Pluto!
Warnings. It's Pluto just gets a penalty as I just say that.
Oh man.
So now Kagoda is ahead of these guys. What does Patriot have? Patriot has nothing.
Davis lets his teammate Asian by for the race lead
Now,
because Asian and Davis both have stayed out in the mediums. Davis not really giving too much of a fight there because he's gonna let these guys go and let them battle for the race lead. We're gonna be fair enough to them.
yeah, well,
Davis
how's this
not winning
gonna
race.
affect Crumbly Tripod now? Patriot and Asian, are they gonna fight?
Kyle
Asian
gets
is
by
yet to
XB
fit, this
low.
might help them.
As well.
Benefit Crumbly Tripod if Crumbly Tripod does get past it, he's gonna have to. Soon enough. Yeah, he's getting a better lineup from Stu.
Well, Davis is
Yeah,
gonna
he
let
left
Crumply
Crumbly
Tripod
Tripod
go.
straight.
Yeah, I assumed that was gonna
Good.
happen.
Now Patriot and Asian are battling.
Whoa,
Contact.
Davis! Oh,
Oh.
Kagoda had to miss him.
And here comes Crumbly Tripod catching up to Stu. Patriot is ahead.
Pluto and Kagoda though, side by side through the S's. Pluto gets ahead, but sideways.
Oh,
And
he's
oh
oh
my
my God.
goodness! And he picks up a
Kagoda's
penalty.
penalty.
How he did not wreck from that, I do not know. Davis was trying to get out of the way out of turn 1, but it was just before turn 1 kind of that Kagoda almost run in the back of him, and because of that, that's what caused Kagoda to run wide, and Kagoda lose the position of Pluto, and I'm sure he'll be appealing that.
Kagoda got 2 warnings on that lap. Just from the lessons alone, got 2 warnings.
Yeah.
Cena has a penalty, which means Pintre is the only one without a penalty.
And that's not Davis's fault. That's just him just trying to be respectful, let other people by. That's not really Davis's fault. That's just the misjudgment of the braking. Davis kind of maybe braked a little bit too early or something like that. Maybe he could have let him by at the outside of turn 1, but he let him by the exit of turn 1 to turn 2. So he tried what he could to let these guys by. But now Crumpy Tripod's in the back of Asian, and now Pluto's in the back of him, while Pluto's got Kagoda at DRS on a different strategy.
Yeah, Crumpy Tripod, you're gonna try it. You're gonna have to overtake Ancient because he's not battling Ancient for a track position. This is for.
Really
he's gonna have to make the move. And Ancient's moves to the inside. This is gonna really not benefit from the tripod here. Around the outside. Again, squeeze him off and he's on the curve.
Adam Fat picks up a penalty, but now here comes Pluto around the outside of the S's. Goes through. Picks up a penalty. So does Davis. So does Utalifan, I believe, as well. The penalties from everyone, back and forth. It's been insane.
H-Team has been really holding up these guys, and it's going to really benefit Patriot.
Pluto again, a second great move through the S's. The moves he's been making through the S's has been insane. Back and forth.
The only good thing about America for me in terms of Sector 1 is making moves around the S. It's so satisfying to make. Yeah. I've made a lot of moves in the S in the past. That move
side by side!
They're side by side. Oh, there's contact!
And that forces Pluto to get a penalty. Yeah, he's going to try to get that one removed, I'm pretty sure. That was a bit unfair from Asian, pushing him wide, but Pluto is still fighting back at it. Remember, Asian's yet to pit, but he's fighting these guys as well. He's fighting it like he's in the championship contention, yet he isn't. He's still in the back of Pluto. Yeah, the penalty Grand Prix, yeah. I thought that was going to be last week in Mexico, but this week, it's completely different.
Yeah, both Mexico and USA have really strict track limits, but...
Whoa, complete tripod!
Sideways!
Kagoda hits the back of him!
Milo got the penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say Milo, back in 11th. Challenger Big Chungus, who I believe pitted at the start of the race. All back there. Alec gets by Davis.
Just for flat out racing, this has been an amazing race so far. Not many collisions. So a very clean race. Probably Tripod gets another penalty.
I was gonna say, I was wondering why Asian was fighting Pluto so hard there. He's yet to pit, there's no need to fight him that hard. You know, Pluto's in championship contention, he forced him to get another penalty. Hamilton picks him another one. I would assume, so does F1 Boy. Okay. I think the moment I talk, I think I should just say penalty, because that's what we're getting. Squid Junior penalty. Penalty. No, the thing is, Asian, you know, why was he fighting these guys so hard? Why was he fighting Pluto so hard? So why was he fighting Kagoda so hard? He's not in championship contention. He basically forced Pluto off the track. I would hope, and I would expect the stewards would give him a penalty after this race, because that was a bit dangerous. Forcing a championship contender off track, especially when Pluto gets a penalty from that, yeah, I don't think much of that.
Yeah, he forced... Right. Remember when he forced Patriot off track as well? He forced the Tripod off track. He's been doing a bit of dangerous driving. This isn't a race for him to win. He's not.
Back in 14th.
3 wide between here.
Going back and forth. There's Hamilton. He's diving it down again. He's through, and but Silent still around the outside. And Silent just gained a place from all that. That was on the exit of the hairpin. That was at the last corner of sector 2. Yeah, they got only go overtake for that. I was assuming he was gonna, but that was definitely deserved for their sure. He passed off track. Davis lets Matty Mumu and XB by. He knows he's not in the championship contention. He's being fair enough to these guys, letting them by.
Yeah, Davis is being the exact opposite of what Asian is. Asian has been really, really aggressive. Silent picks up the penalty. But, yeah, Silent isn't giving anyone an inch of hope of getting past. Fighting Patriot. I think there will be some calls from the stewards.
Yeah, I would not expect Asian to be, as us and everyone in general to be too lenient on Asian. Because he's in championship contention fighting Kagoda and Pluto, and even Patriot way too hard, in my opinion. You know, I mean, Patriot's fighting for the win, which fair enough, you're on a different strategy, but fighting Pluto the way he did that hard, bit questionable, for sure. Now, I mean, Pluto is in the mediums, Kagoda's in the hards, still keeping up with these guys. Penalties will matter. Kagoda's probably going to appeal the penalty he got, as well as Pluto, from being forced off track. And we're already halfway through this race. Don't feel like it, but we are.
Yeah, Tariq's been the for Patriot, Pluto, Combi, Trapline, and Pagoda, really staying at the front. The likes of Costa, Through, and XB1. XB1 hasn't been doing too bad this race.
No, he's done really well.
Sure oh no, he started 7th. Staying 7th. Not a bad run for the Alfa Romeo. Nothing biased there, but Patriot and Pluto, Combi, Tripod, and Pagoda have been the only drivers that can really match each other. So it's
in general,
the 4-way fight for the win.
Sorry. I was gonna say, in general, just look how close this field is. Look at where the back straight is, where it says 2. No one's in that area. No one's in Sector 3 anymore. No one's in Sector 3. This field is so close between the whole field. Everyone is so close. As Squid and Hellcat actually almost come to collision here. There they go! Sideways goes Squid. He's gonna go for a spin.
That might cause a VSC or maybe a safety car. Oh, thank God you telephoned. Don't want them there, but oh, those. I said this when I was practicing with some Tier 1 drivers. Completely overheated tires around USA. The S's are the
whoa!
worst
Crumpy
thing
Tripod
ever,
down the inside. Asian fights back off the exit of the corner. Crumpy Tripod goes ahead.
And I'd say I could just hear from the Tripod saying finally, because Asian has been really holding these guys up in the pits.
I thought that
Yeah,
he was
now
going
it's
to the pits, I thought he was
DRS.
going to hit the pit wall, honestly. I thought he was. Oh my god.
That was DRS on Pluto.
Okay, honestly, just props to Patriot for move up to Tier 2, you know, after being demoted. He's improved so much. If there's any most improved driver out of the whole league we have to go for, easily him. As Hamilton actually left the session.
You have to try and get him back in there. Hang on.
And Asian on softs back at 13. A really bad race from Silent out of Fab as well. Telfin had to spin on lap 1 as well. Hellcat pits for hards. So the only driver yet to pit is Davis, back in 8th. Where he might come out is probably around the 16th, 17th area. Around that kind of area, he should be coming out around there. Oh yeah. Oh, and by the way, Aaron O'Con, thank you for mentioning that. There's been no DNFs yet. I know I'm gonna curse this.
Oh yeah.
No DNFs yet. Interesting to say, 17 laps in. 60% of the race in, we have no DNFs. But here comes Hamilton, or excuse me, Milo on Riles. Down the inside, Milo goes. Riles switching back 3 wide. Asian goes around the outside as well. Riles is still there on the rear tire, not enough. Can't get through.
Asian's gonna try and catch up to the guys in the mediums or the hards, whatever tire they're on. He's coming from the hards. He's trying to get some good points.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say as well, Davis pits. Beatnik, I was gonna say, if he's still in chat, I would like to see a post-race interview from him, because Mercedes look like right now they're not being outscored by Red Bull or Williams, so they don't look like a Constructors' Championship is possible today for Williams and Red Bull, or even staying in contention is possible.
Now
let's check some penalties. Patriot has no warnings. No warnings.
No warnings.
Wow.
Patriot.
At USA? At USA? And I thought he was worse on track limits than that. Wow, he's really must have practiced. 2 penalties for Pluto.
I
Crumpy
warning.
Tripod has 2 penalties. Kagoda has a penalty plus a few warnings. Kyle running out the top 5 has a penalty and a warning. Asian
So
trying a Big Chungus though for P9. This is for a position. This is in the point. Big Chungus might let him go. No, he's just gonna try to not have him get slipstream, but he is gonna get slipstream down here. Asian goes down the inside. Ooh, forces him off a little bit there. A little bit of contact. Big Chungus dives back down the inside. Hits him a little bit. Might have been some contact. A little bit of wheel bang. The fact Patriot, you know, the fact he's improved so much, I mean, I'll be honest, I can't admit he's faster than me, but I'll admit it now. You know, I did not expect this. I'm thoroughly shocked. I mean, originally the way this was going to go was that second seat, the time was XR Wafer and Silent in the 2 racing points. Originally, I was going to be scheduled to possibly go in for Racing Point at USA. I talked to Axe before about that. I decided not to, but Patriot getting in the seat, I think this is well deserved more than me. Honestly, F1 boy Pitts though, but no, seriously, honestly,
Crumpy Tripod gets another penalty.
That's 9 seconds now. The thing is with Patriot, it's like he deserves the seat. He deserves to be in Tier 2 next season. He's probably moving up to Tier 2 next season, with the way it looks right now, at least.
I know
he was so like Tier 3 material at the beginning of this league. He was so Tier 3 material. Didn't realize it too much at the beginning of Tier 2. Competition was different. Now that he's improved so much to Tier 2, by the next game in F1 2020, he could easily be Tier 1 pace pretty soon. And I think this is Patriot, if I'm correct. But if you don't include F1 2017, which was about 2 games ago, you know, this is basically his first F1 game that I think he's probably rather took seriously, or rather that he's got, you know, just in general. I mean, F1 2017 don't really count too much to him, but still. Yeah, Rapid Extreme, who was a teammate with him, said, OMG, whenever Patriot on Haas, this happens. Or not on Haas, this happens. Yeah, I mean, Patriot was not scoring 4 points at most for Haas back earlier this season. Now he's leading the race over Pluto. How has this happened? And no warnings whatsoever. XR Ryan takes a penalty.
This could be a really dominant win, just off of penalties. Asian takes the fastest lap.
Well, that's in the points, so that's going to matter for him. If he gets that extra point, Toro Rosso is going to try to move ahead of Renault, but Crumpy Tripod being the points don't help. Davis gets fastest lap, though, which, yeah.
Crumpy Tripod has to get past Pluto.
When Rapid gets a race ban, this happens. Trying to find a way to make an excuse or whatever for Patriot winning. No, I'm kidding. Nah, but seriously, good job to Patriot, though, no matter what. No matter if he wins this race or not. Leading, I'd say about, what, 13 laps already? 13 of the 20? 13 of the 19? Something like that? Something like that, so that's good for him. Deserves a win if he gets it. While Pluto gains on him, Utah Elephant picks up a penalty.
By the way, no safety car. It's a VSC.
Yeah. Way different compared to Mexico's 3 safety cars. Way different.
It's been a really, really clean race. Very, very
well, here comes Silent on Riles. These 2 battled last season, and Silent dives down the inside of Riles. Silent goes through, and is ahead of the Red Bull. Well, the gap between Pluto and Patriot has gained just a little bit. I'd say about 4/10 there in the past few laps. It's kind of gained. Pluto's kind of started to gain in him and started to use more of the ERS, while Patriot is kind of equal with him. And out of this ERS, out of the top 10, XB1 is 65, above 50, he's one of the only people. Asian was 68. 2 people have more than 50% in that top 10. And XR Ryan, Asian, go wheel to wheel into turn 1. XR Ryan lagging just a little bit. Kagoda gets a penalty, actually. That's the second
his third
one.
Penalty. Or second, never mind. That's not third.
Asian does move ahead of XR Ryan for position. While that's happened, Kyle SO2 behind this train. This is similar to last season, where it's going to be a 4-3 car train for this win, possibly. That's what it looks like, at least on track. Now, Kyle is just a little bit farther back from this pack. This is where Rapid Lucas was last season. if any post-race penalties or just penalties from the game is awarded to the top 3 or top 4, Kyle could take advantage for podium or even a top 3 finish.
Yeah, Kyle is
podium movie.
P3 while Kugoda is P4 at the moment, unless Kugoda pulls away.
F1 goes ahead of Squid. Adam 5 goes ahead of Milo.
Yeah, as it stands, I think it's Pluto second. Kyle third, Kugoda fourth, and Crumbly Tripod fifth as things stand at the moment.
Whoa! Milo and Adam 5. These two are battling for really third in the championship. They're side by side right here. Going back and forth for 13th though. They really want a point if they get the chance for a safety car to come out. They're side by side. Milo gets ahead.
But Milo gets ahead. Great move from Milo.
Make sure you actually get Hamilton back in the session. I forgot to say that earlier. Wow,
yeah, I invited him, but I've invited him, but he hasn't joined back. Invite him again.
People have asked what the difference is between DNR and DSQ. That's the same thing, but the thing is, I was gonna say, with the DNR, you did not return to the session. It could be for being an AI and costing people for multiple laps. It could be for just being an AI for basically the whole race. You know, not having control of your car, as well as just lagging out of the, well, not lagging out of the session, but leaving the session in rage. So far, we've had no DNFs. Hellcat pits. I'm gonna assume this is a retirement.
It could be going fast as that.
I want to assume this is retirement, but Crumbly Tripod goes by Pluto. Pluto switches back. Pluto's ahead. Again, back at it. He does go softs.
Oh, there's contact.
Cuts the corner a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't think Hamilton would rage out of the session, though. That's the thing, because Hamilton was going to be toward the points. I was assuming he would be. But a little bit of contact between Adam 5 and Milo. And Davis, side by side there as well. Around the outside, Davis goes ahead of Milo. Milo having a poor race. Contact. Whoa!
Yeah, Davis
oh, ho, ho. Oh. Locking up.
Yeah, Davis now ahead of Milo. Davis, I mean, I know P14 is the best result, but considering he's tier 3, I know Patriots was tier 3 and he's winning the race, but his development has been similar to Davis. It's been incredible. He's been gotten really, really quick. Now,
Patriot only has one warning. Oh my god. Oh. Crumbly Tripod down the inside again. Not enough.
He needs to get a good run out of this corner. Pluto gets a better exit boost, but Tripod's gonna have the DRS.
Side by side in the back straight. Here we go. Crumbly Tripod's gonna go through.
He gets the move. He's gonna go down the inside. Is Pluto? Yes, he is. Now he's gonna try and get the inside line, and no, he's not. And he's inside line. Sorry. And Crumbly Tripod is ahead of Pluto. Now Pluto's gonna try down the inside. Contact.
I think Kugoda might hit Pluto there. He just might have. I don't know. It seemed like Pluto got hit from the back. But who predicted Patriot on the podium in tier 2? To tell me. I'll wait.
No.
I'll wait.
No
Who
one.
predicted? No one. Exactly.
I didn't.
No one.
I didn't think he was
never
gonna win.
thought. I would have never thought he'd be on podium in general in tier 2 this early. And I was gonna say as well, this was I checked the time trials before the race. Everyone who was oh, Crumbly Tripod goes in the rear end of turn 1. I was gonna say everyone who was at the front of the field or had the biggest time trial, everyone who was up in the front and up in this top really 10 or just in general in the competitiveness of through the field, this big chunk is pits. I was gonna say everyone who was up at the front, it's Hellcat's actually out of the session.
Retired.
It's the first retirement of this race.
There goes our nearly. Have we ever had a race but at the retirement? At Ace.
No, but back at France with you in tier 1, you were the only retirement of that race. As in tier 1.
Yeah, you can blame my internet for that.
Yeah, as well.
We would have had this record.
Yeah, as well as I believe it was Joseph or Zig Starburst in France season this season, tier 3. But no, that's the thing. Who would have predicted Patriot to be leading? And just in general, the pack of cars that are really just in general competing, or just what I saw in time trial, everyone who was at the front of the field was all between a 130.9 at the highest, all between a 130.9 to a 131.3 at most, really. That's where the front of the field was. All the way back to Riles. Riles was setting a 130.3 in time trial. Look at how competitive this field is. And Davis set a 130.2 in time trial as well, and he's running back in 13th. Look at the competition through this field through time trial, just in general, of what we've seen so far. And then look at the gap between this race, between really everyone. Nobody, except for Hamilton, obviously who's lagged out, is a minute behind. Nobody is. Usually by now someone would. While that's happening, Grumpy Tripod is closing the gap to Patriot for this race lead, at least on track. Now Pluto has penalties, so does Kagoda, so does Grumpy Tripod.
Can I just say, Colasso too. He's now a second behind Kagoda, and
Pluto just picked up a penalty.
Wait, did he?
Yeah.
Colasso too could be finishing P2 here. If he remains 3 seconds of both Kagoda and Pluto, he could be getting P2.
He only has the one penalty. Patriot in the last few laps has got the one warning. So, Kyle SO2, even though having that one penalty, he could be, if he just stays within the gap of Kagoda, which he's actually gaining on, he could be on the run for his first podium.
He hasn't really been anywhere this race, but he's just, just staying out of trouble with these guys. No, he's just gaining on these guys. The gap between these two are like, let's say around 2.7 between Kagoda and between Kyle and Pluto. This could be really, really close.
I'm just in shock. I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain this. The back and forth 3 laps ago, the back and forth between multiple drivers, the times, how close people are. Patriot leading this race, I'm in shock. I can't believe that. I don't know what to believe. He's gotten super quick. And, wow. And I don't think I even predicted myself Pluto outperforming Kagoda here, after Kagoda finished 5th place last season in this race. Kagoda finished 5th in USA last season. Obviously, part of the carnage under the safety car caused it, you know, for that to happen, but the fact he's running 4th right now, I was telling Kagoda, you're gonna win this race, but yeah, about that.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna win.
Oh, another penalty!
Kagoda's
Squid Jr.'s out!
penalty.
Squid Jr. retires, that's his 2nd retirement. Davis took a 7th penalty, yeah.
He left
The
a
laps
left.
left, yeah, that's true. Kagoda dives down the inside!
Kagoda down the inside of Pluto.
This is for a position technically, because Pluto actually has that penalty. Now it don't really matter too much with Kyle, because I think Kagoda and Pluto are all even with Grumpy Tripod, I think, on penalties.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, they are. Grumpy Tripod could be getting a podium here. Now with those penalties, obviously there could be appeal with some of the stuff that happened with Asian before he pitted, but it's gonna be Patriot, Kyle in P2, and Grumpy Tripod in P3.
If nothing happens. If nothing happens. I mean, you don't know. You saw last season. You wouldn't know who would win the race until the last corner. You wouldn't know who would win the race, even until the start-finish line, actually. Because of that, and there's another yellow flag somewhere. That is Big Chungus off and retires. That's 3 retirements in 4 laps, when we could have had the record for the least amount of retirements 4 laps ago. Oh, what a record that we could have had. Damn. We could have had a record, but that's okay. As Kagoda diving down the inside, not enough. But again, keep in mind of all this. Patriot from tier 3 to tier 2, leading this race again. Keep that in mind. And also as well, Kyle SO2, 2 seconds back. The penalties are even. Pluto defends. Kagoda to the outside. Side by side. Pluto forcing him the long way around. A little bit of contact. Pluto still ahead. Now side by side up the corner.
But on the outside line, but on the inside, he's probably gonna keep this. It could go, he's gonna get the switchback. Yes, it's a contact! Massive contact!
And Kagoda slides, so does Pluto!
Oh my god. Like, now Colin within a second of these two.
Crumply Tripod is trying for the win on track. At least for the win on track.
It's gonna really help Crumply Tripod if Kagoda and Pluto gets one of those penalties removed at least. These two are still battling.
Let me check Patriots penalties, just warnings in general. Just one warning for Patriots.
Warning.
Kept this race very clean. He just needs to hold it out front and hope nothing happens to him, because he could be a first-time winner in Tier 2 and could be the 7th different one this season, the most in a single season, and we would have as well 4 different winners in 4 different races in the past 4 races, and we'd have 3 first-time winners in the last 4 races, or the last 3 races.
This has been a really, really great race to watch. And to see Patriot from the back, from the bottom of the barrel of Tier 2, to winning his first ever race in Tier 2. It's something special.
It has. This is a race to remember for a while. Now Pluto defends from Kagoda. This is for the championship. Kagoda down the inside!
Oh, he's
on the back straight!
An elbow a little bit. Pluto,
side by side!
Oh my god. They're gonna crash.
Kagoda's not gonna be too nice this time. Kagoda's ahead! Pluto around the outside!
Around the outside!
He goes around the outside, not enough to make the move! Pluto down the inside again!
Got it! No, but... But now Patriot, now Kagoda's ahead.
Of Tier 2 to demotion to Tier 3! Patriot up the final corner! Domination first win! Patriot wins the race! And Mercedes are Constructors Champions! On the podium, Kyle SO2! And the championship fight is on to Brazil. The championship fight goes on. Kyle gets a first podium. Patriot on the podium as well for the first time in Tier 2. A first-time winner. 7 different winners in the 12 races. XB1 rounds out the top 7. Matty Mumu right behind as well. XR Ryan in the points. Good job to him.
With Riles in P10 scored points. Riles in P12. You tell him P4 race he did recover a little bit to get P14.
Wow. This is something special.
A race.
Wow, what a race for sure. There you have it.
Jesus Christ. This is time scores. Oh. Well, that's nice. Wow. That's really nice.
Well, that was a great one.
Oh my god.
I would not believe I'd see it after the demotion to Tier 3 and back to Tier 2. I would not believe I'd see it this quick. At least this quick. Crumply Tripod a 3rd place finish again, 2 weeks in a row. Indeed. As well as Kyle SO to a first podium.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you guys. Wow. What a race that was.
Oh.
Alright, Patriot, let's speak about that. Let me just get one of the other drivers in here. Penultimate round though, Davis picked up a penalty from that. Oh man. Well, anyways, Patriot, tell me about that win from Tier 3 all the way to a win now. In Racing Point, another win for them. In I believe the 4th different team to take to the top for Tier 2 this season. Patriot from Tier 3, bottom of Tier 2, Tier 3 to Tier 2 again. You're a race winner. Include your audio. What do you think?
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, I couldn't be happier that I went down to Tier 3, got my racecraft together to come out here to the home Grand Prix and lead every single lap. It's amazing. I have no words, honestly.
Well, race winner. What do you got to say about that? A race winner for you in Tier 2. now won in Tier 3 and Tier 2. How about that? And how happy do you think you've made XB this?
Yep. I hope Axe is happy. I I'm just really glad to have gotten the opportunity to move back up to Tier 2. Got good pace going in Tier 3. After I was out of the championship, we said, okay, let's test him in Tier 2. We came out here today and did what we need to do. Pole and race win. So can't argue with that.
So you and Matty Mumu, the only two without penalties. Tell me about that then.
Oh yeah, I did a bunch of sweating this week on track limits and just trying to avoid them. I only got, I think, one warning the entire race. I got the car, I lost the back end a little bit. We chased it off a little, but yeah, taking it nice and easy through the S's, where one of the only spots on the track where you see mass amounts of corner cutting. I just perfected the track and made sure I didn't get any penalties, and that got us the win.
Well, pole position to a win. Second day in a row that's happened. Can you believe it? I mean, it's crazy. You've gone out, outperformed Pluto, gone out, outperformed Kagoda, gone out, outperformed the top guys in Tier 2. I mean, what do you have to say about that?
I was definitely losing to that pack at the end of the race. I was just trying to take it nice and easy, not get those penalties, because I knew if I didn't get those penalties, I had the win. So I was taking it nice and easy. That pack did caught me. That just shows you the competition in this Tier 2 league. Yep, I just couldn't be happier right now.
Congratulations on your first win here in Tier 2. Paulo, any questions for Patriot?
No, I don't. Congrats on the win, Patriot. Come on, you drive.
I was waiting for it. Honestly, I was waiting for it was correct.
Oh, it was a commanding drive this time for sure. You can't deny that one. Anyways, Paulo, get to Kyle SO2 there for the second place finisher. Kyle, make sure you have your audio included.
Yep. Kyle, so a race where for most of the race you weren't really anywhere. You were just vibing behind the likes of Kagoda, Pluto, Crumbly Tripod. Did you expect to get a podium out of this?
I didn't really expect the podium, and then I seen everyone had penalties at the end, so I was just trying to not get any warnings, and I managed to get a podium. But I think I've got the pace for finishing these kind of places.
Yeah, you were saying the track where track limits really, penalties really matter at this track, and you showed that even though you're like 3 seconds back from the rest of from the front runners, you still ended up getting P2 because of penalty struggles from the top 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did very well to keep up with Kagoda. When Pluto and Kagoda collided, you were like 9/10 off them. Were you thinking about them or something, or were you just gonna stick behind?
I didn't want to try and ruin the championship. I didn't want to risk that. I was just having a perfect view of the great racing that was going on. I was enjoying it.
Yeah, there was a lot of great racing at the front today. You got a front row seat of it. And
Yeah.
congrats on P2. Great drive to not get many penalties. Maybe anything to say on Kyle?
So obviously you're just a reserve. You finished in the podium. First podium for you. First podium for Patriot as well in this tier. You know, I think you both Patriot and you have to be happy. But tell me about the competition you had today, because you're running 5th for most of the race. You had battles with XP at one point. Matty Mumu, you were going back and forth with them, and you were behind the battle of Kagoda Pluto, the championship battle. Were you just wanting to get by, at least at the end, if they collided, if they gone through, you know, you could get by or something like that. You want to get by to maybe challenge up front for anything better to Patriot? Do you think that was possible to get to Patriot with a bit smaller gap?
I was just kind of observing, and I seen that they had more penalties than me, or well, at least could go to. So I thought I could get a decent result. So I was just trying to keep it on track, not get any warnings, and just cruise home. But I didn't really expect to get as high as P2, but that's where I finished.
Congratulations on the good finish and your first podium.
Thanks.
Crumply Tripod, gonna go to you, P3. Make sure your audio's included. Now I know Kagoda and Pluto. I know there's 2 penalties they want to, you know, definitely appeal for sure, which we'll get to in a minute. Crumply Tripod, for now, you're on the podium. So, 3rd place 2 weeks in a row. You know, you finished 2nd on track. You know, penalties were such a struggle for you, but talk to me about your pace first. Your pace, you were 2nd most of the race, stayed ahead of them, battled back with Pluto, battled back with Kagoda, got to Patriot, but just not enough. Tell me about the 2nd place, or 2nd place finish on track, but the 3rd based off of penalties. English.
Yeah, at the start I was quite worried for position. I was really struggling on the softs. So I was getting warnings left, right, and centre. So I was, yeah, struggling at the start. Hit for the mediums. Was done well until the Toro Rosso was just backing me up so much. He was quite in the way, so that wasn't the best start to the 2nd stint. But yeah, after I got past Pluto, I was not flying, but I definitely got my pace back. But yeah, to be honest, I wish I could get 2 of the warnings I got, but I mean, I'm happy with the result I've got.
Yeah, this just goes to show what you could do in this tier, coming in as a full-time driver. The pace has improved for you. You've improved a lot from the first race you had here, so it shows what you're capable of doing at the racetracks we go to. Congratulations on P3, and Paulo, do you have any questions for Crumply Tripod?
I have a question. Where did your poly pace come from? You told me you were 1.5 seconds slower than me.
I don't know. Yeah, I was, as I said, on the soft I was struggling, but I managed to just hook up a lap, and yeah, started to know where it came from.
That's the, congrats on P3. Yeah, you drove well. You drove. Great drive.
I want to go to Kagoda next. I want to talk to him. I know he's here. Kagoda, make sure you include your audio. I need to learn some proper English. If one of you guys could teach me that after the stream, I'd be happy. Anyways, P4, but I know you got some penalties from contact with Pluto and contact with others. First off, I want to speak about Asian and Davis, the 2 Torossos. Davis got in your way a little bit, forced Pluto to get ahead. I know Davis wasn't meaning it. I know he was trying to get out of the way. He was getting out of the way from everyone else. But, of course, it cost you a position at the time. The thing is, with Asian holding you guys up, being more aggressive than anyone else that whole race that I know of in the championship battle, or trying against the championship battles, he was being more aggressive. How did you feel he was racing in both Toro Rossos in that race?
I mean, I don't think Davis had much room because Pluto was just kind of down on the inside of him. But I mean, I wasn't allowed to reserve in tier 1 because, like, in case something like that happened, so I don't really know why I was there. Just after that, I got a penalty at the S's because Pluto hit me off. He did the exact same to Crumbly Tripod. Yeah, I don't even know. He was just really aggressive during that race for some reason. Like, if he wanted to overtake me, fight me like a maniac. I mean,
are you fucking pussy? Why would you say that?
because he hit me off the track.
You tried to stay on my outside on the left hand of the
Come on,
first
these tracks are made for people to overtake. You can fit 2 cars.
Not the
in
S.
there, you can hit me.
I was miles ahead of you and you tried to stay there.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I know a million people
side by
are
side.
me, so chat your shit now.
You're the same to Crumbly Tripod, or whatever you
Yeah,
call it.
Because I was ahead of him.
What, he was side by side with you. Exactly.
On the inside and ahead.
Yeah, but
Yes,
you can't
I'm
just
right
tell me
beside
I
you.
was on the apex.
You need to leave me space.
I don't know how
okay,
you
sure.
think you're not in the wrong here. It was pretty
Did you
great.
clip it? Let me see it before
Yeah.
I start trying to shoot.
No, because
It'll
I
take me a
just
couple.
to you.
From my perspective, I really wasn't in the wrong.
No, I'm not bothered by it, but I'm just saying, leave room in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
like I got penalty from it, so it should get removed.
Well, cool down room for you, I guess. Kagoda, your battle with Pluto. Yeah, I know you want to appeal that penalty, but I know Pluto. I saw a penalty that he got on stream as well. He might want to appeal that as well. Talk to me about Mercedes being constructors champions for you guys. How you guys feel about that, and just in general of the season you guys have had at Mercedes.
Yeah, both drivers, me and Beat now have good seasons. Both of us got wins. It's unfortunately wasn't very snap in again. Well, hopefully we can get both championships. I mean, it could happen if my penalty gets a big ball. I'm not really sure anymore.
Yeah, I was told to send this message over to you that Davis is sorry for what happened at turn 2, of course, turn 1 as well. Just wanted to pass on that message, but you know, even if a penalty is appealed or whatnot, whatever happens, the championship could happen. But if it isn't appealed, right now the championship goes on to Brazil. So congratulations on P4. Paulo, do you have any questions for Kagoda?
The Asian thing. Now, what were you like? Wait, I think Asian was holding you. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was Pluto or I don't know if it was both Kagoda and Pluto. But what were you like when Asian was holding you up? If you were held up by him.
Was that early in the race? I can't really remember.
It was before you pitted. It was around lap. It was like.
Oh, I can't really remember, but I mean, through some of the corners, it was really difficult to just follow because if I was getting the braking, I would just lose it through some of the high speed corners because like I just couldn't follow. It was really hard. And if anyone was holding me up, it was probably because of that, not because of it being like an owner or anything.
It was mainly Pluto got held up by that.
Probably.
Yep. Well, congratulations on P4 again. I'm gonna go to you now, Pluto. Bit of contact with Kagoda, bit of contact with Asian. Asian was fighting really hard. I want to speak up Asian first. Asian was fighting super hard with you guys. Speak to me about Asian's aggressiveness, even though he's not in the championship battle. Why was he fighting that hard?
Well, he's alright to fight hard. He's not really proper to fight championship contenders hard, but it's not illegal. So I don't think what he did to me is penalty worthy, but I was definitely pushed off track for the warning, so that should be removed. What else do you want me to talk about?
Just in general, the battle with Kagoda, because you guys went back and forth. It was a back and forth race between you two. You two championship contenders. It was about even with you two on penalties most of the time. It was going back and forth with as well a crumply tripod you guys on penalties. So speak to me about the battle with Kagoda in the last few laps of what going on there.
It was fairly stale until he nearly spun me coming out of, I don't know what fucking corner it is. But that made me lose the RS to tripod, which made me an easy pass. So that's why he got ahead of me.
Even though Kagoda beat you today, tell me about the championship fight in general. You know, you two have gone back and forth at it mainly this season, the championship. You know, Adam 5 was up there at one point with you guys. He fell out of the championship battle. Milo and Adam are out of contention, no matter what. Obviously, appeals that will happen. Championship could be won. Championship could be lost. Who knows? Who all knows? But speak to me about your chances into Brazil, because you and Kagoda fought really hard today. Do you see the same thing in Brazil with you two championship contenders? If it goes to Brazil, you two fighting very hard.
Yeah, that's a very easy answer. Yes. I don't know what you expect me to say to that.
So then how do you take yourself under Brazil and, you know, win the race and try to get second in the championship for McLaren for constructors? How do you try to do that if, you know...
Well, I don't
have a
think
drivership to battle
drivers
as
is
well.
a thing anymore. If Kagoda gets his thing that he's wanting to be taken off, it's not a thing anymore. But yeah, constructors is definitely an option to get second. But I think we're really close to second now, if not above them, because Red Bull and Williams had a poor race.
They did. They did. That's why I mentioned that. Matty Mumu had no penalties, so congrats to him, your teammate. A very clean race by him. Congrats to him as well.
Yeah, he did
Good
perfect.
job to him. Yeah, good job to him. Congratulations on P5. Do you have any, Paulo? Do you have any questions for Pluto?
No.
Nice.
All right. I'm gonna try to beat Nick in here, see if he's online, cause Constructors Championship from Mercedes, that's what they needed. Let's see if he's online.
You just get my move on Pluto, by the way, like on stream.
I think I did.
I want to see our game. It's beautiful.
It was a DRS pass. Not that beautiful.
You covered the inside edge, went outside, boom. Loved it.
It was a DRS pass. You still was like 20 kph faster.
Lovely.
No matter if you went inside or outside, you would have passed me. You didn't need to make it that flashy.
Either way, Polo, I don't think we can get beat Nick in here, I don't think he's online, but, Polo, first time winner for, Patriot. How about that?
I'm shocked. This is a very, very interesting story.
Gosh.
From a guy who was like at the back of tier 2, not even scoring points, to now being involved, now being the first ever guy to be in tier 3, winning in tier 3, then going to tier 2 and winning. So
Yeah.
Patriot, very, very big congratulations to him. A very, very good race overall from everyone, and it was quite clean, especially at the front. Although apart from the Kagoda Pluto sub, there was a bit of argy-bargy at the end, but it's racing. They're fighting for the title. That things are gonna get messy.
Yeah, that is true. And I was gonna say as well, hold up, I was gonna say first, keep in mind as well, you know, although Kagoda Pluto are getting some of the talk, we need to have Patriot get some of the talk because, you know, tier 3, tier 2, you know, the demotion, then the promotion again, and then the win, I mean, that quick, I mean, he had 4 points before this race. 4 points. It was not going well last race as well for him. And, I was gonna mention as well, the thing I was wanting to mention, the 2 Americans have won the races, so far, tier 2, tier 3. Patriot and Davis. Can we see John get it tomorrow? Can Axe get it tomorrow? I mean, I'm just trying to think of some Americans who could get it tomorrow. But obviously that's very unlikely, but with Boker saying he's starting P20, could it happen? Polo?
I mean, there's definitely going to be a different winner today. And John, I have practiced with him this week. Yeah, I've seen his pace. He's been decent. He's been practicing hard. He's been decently quick. So maybe he could pull off a shock win, his second win, because he won in Australia. Maybe Axe, since I think it's dynamic for tier 1 tomorrow. I need to double check that.
Doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
think
is
that's what
dynamic.
they wanted.
So if it is raining in the race, Axe could pull off his. Everyone says that Axe is a god in the wet, so maybe he could take a shock win in the wet. If it does rain.
Well, I think Boker's faster, but I still think Axe is better paced in the wet than he's got in the dry for sure. I think that's a guaranteed fact. Fact. I think that's a guaranteed fact in my opinion. Fact, yeah. But yeah, obviously, what do we have to talk about as well? Kyle SO2. I want to talk about him for just a second, and then Matty Moon, by the way, congrats on no penalties. I'm gonna keep saying it. Great job for him. Gained a lot of time just in case a penalty happens for any of the front running guys. Gained a lot of time to get himself back in position, to possibly steal a position from a lot of other guys. Pretty cool for him. Patriot, though, no penalties. Kyle SO2, only the 3 seconds. You know, no penalties is big in USA, but 3 seconds, though, Paulo. Just 3 seconds between the penalties that Kyle had as well. I mean, he got himself a podium out of that. No matter if Kagoda and Pluto appeal, I think he's going to keep a podium no matter what. So congrats to him. But what about his run today? Because last week he crashed out. from a good position twice.
Yeah, he's definitely bounced back from a pretty poor result last week. It shows that he's really, really good on track limits, and when you're good on track limits, that could go really, really far. Sometimes if you're not that quick, but you're good on track limits, that could give you a good result, because many people could be really, really quick and not great on track limits.
Well, obviously, now Paige is getting a lot of the talk, and so is Kyle, but let's go back to Pluto for a minute. The battle between them, a bit aggressive from both drivers, which you would expect in the championship battle, but ended out with a little bit of contact between the two, getting both sideways, and we saw the cooldown room. That's how heat of the moment gets, and that just doesn't get any better than that. And I'm telling you right now, Polo, this championship fight, this thing, if there's no appeals the right way, and the stuff goes the right direction with this going to the final race, what do you see in the final race then at Brazil after the penultimate round today?
Hard fighting, hard battling between these two. Like, everything's on the line next week. Like, I don't know how many points Kagone has to score to win the title. I think it's 2.
No matter what,
Like,
I think it is.
finish.
I think Pluto's gonna have to win the race anyway, with the way it looks.
Yeah.
So
He's gonna have to win. I think he's gonna have to get fastest lap, and Pluto and Kagone has to crash.
Well, he's at least gonna have to win, at least at the minimum or something. That's at least the minimum. Penalties being appealed, all depends, of course. Penalties being given, all depends, of course, as well. We'll have to find out what goes on. Well, you all joined us for the penultimate round today for Tier 2. You're gonna join us for the penultimate round tomorrow. Polo, any predictions for tomorrow? I mean, Boker's starting P20, so Jack returns after a race kind of break he had tomorrow. Does Jack get a podium, a win? Reese as well. He won in he had the win on track, I believe, in LDRL here in USA. So it's possible from those guys. It's a pad track. What do you think?
First prediction is I'm gonna bottle it.
What's new?
I think Jack will get a podium, and I think Reese will win the race. Reese has the pace. He's on no ABS. And I think maybe Ricochet could get a podium.
That's what I was thinking in the podcast. Yeah, I was thinking that. I wasn't too sure on who I was going to pick necessarily as well in that podcast. Boker still has a chance from P20. Boker could do anything. If Boker wins the race tomorrow, good to him. Deserves it, I guess, right?
Quickly,
we'll have to find out.
Did you curse anyone?
You?
Did they?
Polo did.
I mean, for me, it was a good result. But,
no, I did. I know we cursed the DNFs. We said it like lap 22. DNFs. Oh yeah, no one's DNF'd yet. This has been great. Oh, like the next 4 laps, 3 people DNF'd.
That was Aaron O'Connor.
Well, that's what I said as well. I mean, I said both. I was like, hey, this is good. I mentioned it. I mean, Aaron mentioned it first, but then I mentioned it later more often. So, yeah, we cursed that. We said something about Pluto. He took a penalty. And then said something about Complete Tripod, you. It was rather Paul or me, about where you're running, and then you get a penalty. So, yeah, but, right now, before appeals, you're in the podium, so, at least take this podium while it lasts, if it does. So, I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
You got to keep it out in Mexico, at least. So, yeah, definitely deserved. And we have the most different winners we had in a single season. Tier 3 can tie that, and we can extend that next week in Tier 2. So, this tier's honestly been amazing this season. We head to Brazil next week, where the championship fight is still on. We'll talk to you about that tomorrow. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me, though. Glad to have the post-race interviews as well. Paulo, we'll have to see what happens next week, because, I was going to mention, you were originally supposed to join me for only a few races this season. After X had to kind of step out of that, you've joined me for basically the whole season, kind of.
Yeah, apart from Singapore and Hungary. Singapore because of Rap League was one of the race, and Hungary was due to
Not race. He's too fast for Tier 2.
Yeah. Commentate, never mind, small brain. And I wasn't even supposed to commentate today even, but after the whole DW thing, that's after boiling over. And now, yeah. And can't wait to commentate one final time. And one of my, probably my favorite track on the calendar, Brazil.
Yes.
So it's gonna be a great one.
I would say honestly probably one of my favorite too. One of my favorite to drive in the game. One of my favorite as a championship decider. That's why I was like, hey, let's put this on the schedule. Final race of the season. Let's do this. And it was the
Is that
right
Glock
decision in my
moment?
opinion. Oh yeah. You know Brazil can get crazy. And next week it could get crazy. We'll have to find out what happens tomorrow for Tier 1 for the penultimate round in USA. Join us tomorrow in America. We'll have to find out what happens. Milo Gaming joins me tomorrow. We'll have to find out what goes on. Boker said he's starting P20. We'll have to find out if that's true or not. But if he starts P20, we'll have to find out where he finishes. Anyways, congratulations to our podium finishers today. And we'll have to find out what goes on. Congratulations on Mercedes on the Constructors' Championship. Congrats to them. That fight is still on for second as well. We'll have to find out what goes on. We'll see you guys tomorrow for USA Tier 1.